Hey everyone, Everyone here, bringing you guys my updated DDD Monarch deck profile for May 2017. Now there are a few things I want to state it before the start of the video. If you don't want to hear them, you can skip to like the second or third minute of the video because it's going to take a little bit of a while. So first off, I'm sorry I haven't able to update videos for a month and a little bit because I have a little bit of things to do, as well as like there are things like going on in my life, and I just basically wasn't too much able to just dedicate my life to videos, as well as I really was recording the Blue Eyes video before that, so I actually wasn't able to just say things, so I actually uploaded the Blue Eyes video, as you know, really lately, and I wasn't able to just talk about this. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is just basically that I want to upload videos once a week or two times a week, or just one per 2 weeks or whatever. Just we'll see the ratio how it goes, but trying to upload a little bit more videos, and I want to hear your guys' comments, what you think. Now, this is basically what my goals are, and I hope you will understand that sometimes there are times that I actually cannot dedicate my life for this, because this channel, I'm sorry, like, if it sounds like that, it's just starting a channel, not like a thing that I actually have a lot of followers, which I hope will happen one day, because I want to help you guys build interesting things instead of like the usual meta. But just basically, it just things I cannot dedicate my life for, but in few months I will have a little bit more time, so I might actually be able to dedicate a little bit more time for this. But yeah, that's that. And then for about the deck itself, first off, unfortunately there are no side deck in this, because this deck is a little bit more difficult to master, as I think it is, and it's more like of a fun build, because I have a little bit of enough time, like I just had enough of like the same DDD builds which are going the same, and just basically the same combo over and over again. I don't really like that. So because of that, I actually wanted to build something a little bit more spicy. Now, this has happened when I actually bladed through my other cards to find out something interesting. First off, I thought about maybe adding a Perform Power or whatever engine, but it felt like a little bit more cloggy and not that good, even though Perform Power have the ability to pop things. Just because the DDD scale's really specific about just summoning a DDD monster. So, yeah, that's that. And then the other thing I actually want to tell you guys, I'm not the first one who thought about this, because when I just searched for some DDD videos to just basically learn a little bit more combos before I master this, I actually noticed a guy that actually made the same kind of idea of my deck, but with different ratios. Him a little bit more focused on like middling both of those, and mine just focused a little bit more on the DDDs and just Monarch as a support, so it's really different, just to let you know. As well as I was trying to just build a Monarch with DDDs, it didn't work, but building DDDs with Monarch work better in my opinion. But yeah, without any more digging in your brains and just bubbling about, let's get started. So starting off with the monster count, which is pretty high, I run 1 copy of Ether, 2 copies of Herbers, 2 copies of Eidos, and then 1 copy of Idea. Now, this ratio is pretty much seem weird for a lot of people, but I will explain it right away. First off, Ether, unfortunately, it's at 1. It's for a good reason at 1. If it was at 3, I probably will pick up Monarchs and play them again, even though the Pantheism and Stormforce are at 1, because they're still pretty amazing. Now, Urber's effect is just basically, it's just really amazing card. Sorry that I actually skipped for Urber's. Urber's, I felt like 2 is really enough, and that's it, because this deck is just basically just built around like have support for DDDs. It's not 100% focused on Monarch, so I felt like Urber's at 2 is pretty much enough. I don't have enough targets for my spell and traps like Monarchs I don't have a lot of spell and traps for Monarchs, so I just felt like 2 is enough. Then 1 Squire of Idea and 2 Eidos, because Eidos, what's really funny and I noticed, is that his effect of like the additional tribute summon in addition to your normal summoning set doesn't activate his effect to not summon monster from the extra deck until you use his effect in the graveyard, which is banish it and just summon an like your idea or whatever. So getting the tribute summon without limiting my normal summon and my extra deck summon is pretty important, I think. So that's like I want to run 2 of this. Then idea I run just the 1 because I felt like idea is like that one which I normal special summon just limiting me, so I just wanted to run just the 1. And then for our last couple of Monarchs, for the big ones, I run 1 Thessalos and the 1 Karaz. Now again, I like to run the Thessalos instead of like a 3rd Orbus because once again, it doesn't limit me for using spells and trap to activate its effect. So basically I can make my opponent's hand like the same combo, which is -2 when they're starting their plays. But I like the 1 Thessalos because that work better than my playstyle. And the 1 Karaz and not free Karaz like the other guy who did the video, because I felt like Karaz in this build is not that good because Karaz is just popping cards and I don't have so much target to pop with Karaz. So other than that, that's it for my Monarch monsters. Now we move on for the DDD engine, which is pretty standard. So first off, I run, for non-DDDs, I run free Lamia, free Kepler, free Necroslime, and then for our mostly our Pendulum monsters, I run free Kepler, which is basically your searcher. Now those three, as I said, those three before, sorry, I'm skipping really fast because I just really feel they are not need any more explanation, but they're main combo pieces. Kepler is your main searcher for your dark contracts, which are your spells and traps in the deck. And then 2 Copernicus, because I felt like more than 2 in this deck especially is a little bit more dead, even though I am considering cutting it down to 1 or even cutting it down completely. But for now, 2 working really fine for the amazing combos I can do with this. But yeah, it's actually still in playtesting, so I will not show it, unfortunately. But yeah, after that I run 2, unfortunately, 2 Ragnarok and the 1 Thomas, because I really don't have any more plays in the deck. And Ragnarok, out of all of them, feeling the most cloggy because it's just a level 8, and let's just say I open up with some Monarch cards. It's kind of dead, and unless I use a Tribute Summon, which is really thing I don't want to do, this card will feel dead in my hand. So I felt like 2 and 1 is just better ratio. So yeah, that's it for my DDD monster lineup, as well as the Monarch monsters. 26 monster lineup, I really think it's pretty big. I'm trying to cut it down, but it's just the best as I can do right now. So if you have any ideas, just help me in the comments. But now we'll move on to spells. First off, free Tenacity, because it's your main searcher for Monarch spells. And then the 1 Pantheism, because this card is amazing, and you want to see this card in your hand or just in graveyard as soon as possible. And then it just basically, when you activate it, if you don't know, it just basically discard a Monarch spell or trap, which is basically, let's just say Tenacity or something else. It's a Pot of Greed, kind of, in a way. You just basically like discard 1, draw 2, and then when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and add 1, like show to your opponent 3 different Monarch spells or traps, and then he add one of them to your hand. So basically it's become a Pot of Greed, if not more than that. So that's why this card I think is limited. It's pretty broken, and I really like this card. And then 1 copy of Stormforth, because treating your opponent's monsters is pretty broken. And then 1 copy of Domain, because I don't use it to the lockdown, but it's more as a name, as well as, you could say, mostly for the Tribute Summon, like making my Tribute Summon a little bit more easier. And then the 1 Return of the Monarchs, because I really don't like this card because it's limiting my extra deck, but if I resolve it once or twice, it really helped the deck, so I felt like just 1 is pretty enough. So that's it for Monarch spells. Now we move on for Dark Contracts. First off, I run the usual standard 3 Gates, and then the 1 Swamp King. Pretty standard. Search for your DDD pieces, Fusion Summon, pretty standard. And then for our last 2 spells, I run 1 copy of Foolish Burial, and 1 copy for 1/1. pretty standard, really good, both of them in Monarch or even in DDD builds. So yeah, that's that. And that's it for spells. Now we move on to traps. I run 2 copies of Prime of the Prime Monarch, and that's it. And that's it for my main deck. So basically, I really didn't have the place to add, unfortunately, Allure of Darkness or Max C. So yeah, this deck is really tight. If you find any way to make it a little bit less, you know, tighter and just a little bit more good, like a little bit running a little bit more faster, I really appreciate that. But yeah, if you leave your thoughts in the comment below. But that's it for main deck. We'll move on to extra. First off, for our main fusion, I run 2 copies of Genghis, because main combo piece in any DDD deck. Then the Arc, because it's one of the cards that really helps. The one Beowulf, because it's another combo piece. And that's it for fusions. Now we move on to synchros. First off, the one Alexander, and then the one Siegfried. Once again, combo pieces. This card is really amazing, and this is a combo piece. Then for synchros level 8, sorry about that, I run the one Omega, the one Scarlight, and the one Crystal Wing, because those 2 cards are amazing, and just I like this card as well in here just for a finisher. And then for our synchros, I run 1 copy of Odyssey Meteor Burst, 1 copy of TG Hyper Librarian, and then the 1 copy of Formula Synchron, because I really like the Formula Synchron in here, and it's pretty good. And then lastly, for our card that I run, which I actually need to find a way to cut it, but because I don't have number 38, I pretty much don't, I run it, which in the future I probably will cut it to another rank 8 or get is 1 Crestron Phoenix. Now, I really want to cut this card, even though sometimes it come up, but it's just feeling a lot of that really lately. So, if you have number 38, run it instead. And that's it for my synchros. Now we move on to Xyz. Unfortunately, I have to proxy. I'm really sorry about that, because one, I don't find my Kali Yuga. I don't know where he is. I just put him somewhere and I don't know where he is anymore. I just think I lost it, so I will order a new one. And then the one Sylvan Princess Sprout, because I still have the time to pick up some Maximum Crisis packs, but when I will get it, I will run it in here. So that's it for my Xyz. And oh, once again saying, if you have number 38, just take out the Crystron Phoenix and run it instead, so you have 2 more options. Even though I actually tried to run number 22 Zombie Stein, but it's well Zombie Stein as well, unless it was it's just a beater, and his effect is not that good. So yeah, if you have some other like rank 8s you think like are good in here that are not number 38, run them in here, but just if you want them to be competitive, run number 38. So yeah, that's it to my Monarch's DDD deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy. It's pretty much, how can I say again, it's not that competitive, it's more of a fun build. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's really helped me to post more videos and motivate me to do more. So hopefully you like and subscribe once again. Sorry about that. And yeah, have a good one.